So I definitely consider myself a pretty big Exorcist fan. William Peter Blatty's book, one of my favorites, gave me many sleepless nights. And of course, William Friedkin's classic 1973 film, one of my all-time favorite movies. And even the sequels to the movies, I didn't mind that much. Even the second one, they're all okay to one degree or another. But the original Exorcist, that's the classic, the best one. So to adapt that into a TV miniseries, I thought was kind of a bold endeavor. And what's kind of pleasantly surprising about this new version, this The Exorcist TV series, to my surprise, actually, I didn't really know, it's not really a straight adaptation. So they're not remaking it in the traditional sense. It is a new original story. And technically it's a sequel taking place in modern times after that. There's very, tiny hints at it. Like there's one scene where a character is kind of like looking up exorcisms on Google or whatever, and he finds an image of the infamous stairs and a news headline that says 2 dead after exorcism or whatever. So that's kind of a promising thing. It's not being a straight adaptation, but keeping very much, of course, the spirit. Like the TV show may be new, but the tropes are the same, so we kind of have a similar story. We have a mother who's kind of in dire need of spiritual help. She's played by Gina Davis as the mother. And a priest who's a little unsure of his faith himself. This one, it's Father Thomas. And there's some new characters. There's kind of like almost like this renegade, play by his own rules kind of priest, Father Marcus, who's kind of an interesting character. Maybe they're going like a little bit over the top, making him kind of a super badass priest. Like there's one scene where he actually, mild spoilers here, but he is trying to do his own thing with an exorcism. A representative from the Catholic Church comes to him and is like, "You can't do this, man." He pulls out a gun and he's like, "Yes, I fucking can." Well, he doesn't say yes, I fucking can. But, they make him kind of a badass kind of character. But I kind of like that. What it's kind of missing is kind of like a Max von Sydow kind of character, like the older priests. So I would have liked something like that. But so far, I've, watched the first episode tonight, and I do think it's promising. I really do, and I like this new story. I'm intrigued by it. I like how there's kind of a different family dynamic than what we saw in the original story, in Blatty's novel and in the film, where this is a family of 4, wife, husband, 2 daughters in this one. The mother definitely has some problems, which are alluded to a little bit, where she's kind of not too much in control of her own life. And we even see some scenes where she's like really pouring down a lot of wine. So there's maybe something a little bit off with her. But what's interesting is we have the 2 daughters. One daughter's like super, super perfect, angelic, and the other's kind of traumatized. She was in a car accident. She's kind of been reclusive a little bit, so the mother is very worried about that, and she thinks a demonic presence is haunting their home, which, in one thing, like when you compare it to the original story that we saw, what I liked about that is that they tried really hard to at least give us all the earthly possibilities, like psychological, like, think of the original movie where little Reagan, Linda Blair, she's going in for all those tests and they're doing the x-rays, and then finally in desperation, that's when she kind of reaches out to an exorcist. Here it's like straight up, yeah, I believe in demons, can you please help me? So I didn't quite think that was the best, but I do like the dynamic there, where there is this struggling family, and we're not quite sure, like it hasn't shown us too much. This first episode in the series is kind of just setting up all the pieces, so we don't quite know who's possessed and what's exactly happening just yet. But I actually think, I have a prediction, I think it's going to be like the super nice daughter instead of like the traumatized daughter, just for like a nice twist, which we have some hints at that, but not 100% confirmation. There's a very good scene in the ending of this episode where the priest comes by the house, comes into the attic, and he hears rats, which is kind of like, a nice callback to the original movie. Now, like the house staff is like, rats, no rats. So I thought that was a nice callback. And they end with the infamous Tubular Bells music, which is pretty cool. So I'm intrigued by it. I think this is something that's new and not, if it fails on its own terms. It won't tarnish the classic necessarily, just like The Exorcist II: The Heretic didn't tarnish the original, because we'll always have the original no matter what, but at least they're not going back and redoing the same story, which I do appreciate. So far I like it. I give it a seal of approval as an Exorcist fan. Again, I love the book, love the movie. I've seen the movie a million times. It just keeps on getting funnier and funnier. The book I've read several times over, which I don't normally do with books, but it's just so good, I think. And I was an Exorcist for Halloween last year, for what it's worth. So I'm a big fan. So it has a seal of approval from a bona fide Exorcist fan, if that means anything. So I'll keep watching, keep up to date on the show, and maybe check in a little bit more. Maybe I won't do like reviews of every single episode, but I'll check in. So if you haven't seen it, give it a watch. I think you might be pleasantly surprised. I'll tell you, it's not like a masterpiece, like not like first episode of Game of Thrones, first episode of Breaking Bad, like mind-blowing kind of thing, but it's really good. It has effectively creepy scenes. It has the kind of stuff that you'd expect from The Exorcist, some key Exorcist trademarks. Like we do see, one thing I'll say, we do see a head-spinning scene, but not with the exact results that you might expect. We've yet to see green vomit just yet, so I anxiously await that. So those are my first impressions on The Exorcist, the new Fox series. Give it a watch. Not bad at all. So thank you very much for watching. Be sure to comment, rate, subscribe, all that good stuff. Visit dare237.com. And until next time, I'll see you later.